Welcome all sports fans. I'm Dolph Jackson, one of the hosts of the Come On In Sports Network, a brand new sports network catered to sports heads like yourselves. Here on the Come On In Sports Network, we'll be covering the latest topics and current sporting news from around the world, such as baseball, football, basketball, and more. So sit back, relax, put your feet up, and come on in.
The Come On In Sports Network.
NFL Nation, how you doing? Come on in. I'm Dolph Jackson, and you got I caught. Listen, this is why we go live. Man. I caught 9 all off guard and everything, baby.
Why am I so huge?
He's like, wow, I'm really huge. Like, oh, you see now, big old head on the screen. Anyway,
God damn.
We want to welcome everybody to the show. Listen, it's a special night tonight, man. Listen, we got family coming through. We got family coming through. He's coming through to talk about those guys in Ohio. I ain't talking about them other guys. I don't want to start nothing. It's too early to start something. You know what I'm saying?
We're talking about the right team. We're talking about the right team.
I'm gonna ask the question tonight, though, now, because I got to know. I know the dog pound's gonna be checking in tonight and everything. But listen, family, without any further ado, these gentlemen here from excuse me 1 second. Okay. These gentlemen here from the Barkng Browns Podcast, the one and only Mr. Jacob Roach is in the building. Jacob, welcome to the show.
Thanks,
he's a first timer, but listen, he's family, and his co-host needs no introductions over here at the Come On In Sports Network because he's family, and he always keeps it real and tells it like it is. My guy, Mr. Casey Kinnamon. Casey, what's up, baby?
What is up, gentlemen? How we doing tonight?
Doing good, man. We doing good tonight, man. What's going on, gentlemen? Hope everybody's having a good night. How first of all, before we get into this, man, how's the family? Everything's good, I hope, with you guys.
Yeah, family's good, man. We're still in summer. My kids don't go back to school for another week, so no more bedtimes.
Got one week.
We got to transition back pretty soon, though.
Oh, your kids go back in a week?
Yeah, man. They go back at the beginning of August.
You fortunate.
Dolph about to move.
Tell you, boy, you love him, but boy, I tell you. All right, listen. Casey's been here before, but we got a first timer here. It's his co-host on Barkng Browns Podcast. He family now too. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jacob Roach. Jacob, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
And I got to do you right. Jacob, the doors are now open, so you already know. Come on in. There you go. Welcome, my friend. Thank you for being here.
Me, man.
Oh, man, it's our pleasure, man. Listen, we're going to talk a little Browns football, a little AFC North, and NFL football in general, man. And you know how we do, Casey. We will wind up talking about something that has totally nothing to do with football, you know. Yeah. But hey, that's what we do. So I'm gonna get straight to it, right? I want to start this and get this out the way now because Nine said I had the right one.
Yeah.
If you were to poll the residents and the population of Ohio, who would they say which franchise is? Look at Jacob.
Yes, sir.
I gotta ask. Somebody asked me to ask it. I gotta ask it. Which franchise will get the vote as being the team of Ohio?
So, I think here's this comes with a caveat. So, like I'm from Athens. I'm from what is now pretty well referred to as Joe Burrow land, where Joe comes from. And so I think it's a little unfair because growing up in this area, I think I saw more Browns fans. But then all of a sudden, one of ours became the starting quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals. And we've never had someone from this area, from Appalachia, do that sort of thing. And, he's used this platform. Like, so many kids in this area get free lunches because of Joe Burrow. Like, that's no joke. The dude is a saint. And because of that, oh man, I almost feel like it's kind of turning the tides the other way. At least from what I see in my area of town, I've seen it change a little bit.
Okay.
The Browns get free lunches because of Joe Burrow. 5-1 against that dude. I don't know. No. I can't give it to them. I can't say Joe Burrow is 1-5 against the Cleveland Browns. So that's what you need to know right there.
It was a really hard week to live in Athens when they were in the Super Bowl. That was rough.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was rough.
Definitely can imagine.
What's crazy is I moved down to South Carolina, right? And I'm in a mall and they have a bunch of throwback jerseys, but that's high school throwback jerseys. So you can actually get Joe Burrow's Athens jersey down here. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's high school jersey. It's a pretty cool shop, man.
How much the high school jersey going for?
$150.
$150.
They got all kinds of. I mean, dude, you can get McCaffrey. You can get anybody, any of the stars they have in there, man.
Wow.
They didn't have Nick Chubb though, or I'd be wearing it right now.
You need a Chubb, man. And speaking of Nick Chubb,
let's do it.
How's Nick Chubb been looking? We know he suffered that catastrophic injury last season.
Superhuman.
I saw that squats, man.
Superhuman. He shouldn't be doing what he's doing. There's no way to explain it. I mean, you saw it. His knee went in 3 different directions. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, and that's the second time he's blown that exact knee out. So you're like, man, well, but that's Nick Chubb. I bet against him at your own peril. I mean, that he's putting in the work. We just didn't know if his body would respond. And we were on a podcast a few weeks ago when the first video started surfacing of him doing balancing drills and starting to do some lateral movements. And I said, I'll get excited when we start seeing him do squat videos and that tsunami bar is bending over his shoulders. And sure enough,
2 weeks later,
here this dude is squatting 580 for sets of 2.
Yeah.
580 pounds.
Definitely a little inhuman. Inhuman with that one.
Knee brace, mind you. That knee was not braced. It was just free out there. Oof.
The world's strongest men even live 5'8", squat 580. I mean,
for reference though, he was squatting 680 for sets of 3 last year. We have video confirmation of that. So I'm not saying he's all the way back, and they're probably going to slow roll it, and they're probably going to temporarily, they're probably going to, hold up big fella and try to ease him back into it. But like, you're going to see him this year. I just don't know when.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Nick Chubb goes down last year. I'm sorry. Go ahead now.
No, I was saying it's good to see him doing that though.
It's good.
That's superhuman.
Yeah,
it is. Now, last year you had a 5th round pick in 2022 come on when Nick went down, and pretty much he did his thing.
Mm-hmm.
Jerome Ford. So, what are you expecting from Jerome Ford this season with the return of Nick Chubb? Do you think it's going to be a running back by committee until maybe, let's say, the middle of the season when they feel that Nick is back up to Nick Chubb standards?
Yeah, I'll let you take this, Jacob.
Yeah, I really like what they've kind of put together, because I think that even until Nick Chubb's 100%, kind of like you said, maybe mid-season, somewhere around then, I think he could play early, but like they'll keep him on a pitch count. I just think that the 3 guys behind him, they check all the boxes. Nyheim Hines, that's your pass catcher. That dude can run routes in the slot, or he can run it out of the backfield. He can, run the jet sweeps and all those sort of things, make some people miss in the open field. Donson Foreman, that dude's just going to run you over. You need a power back in the short yardage situation. That's what Foreman's for. Jerome Ford, he can be that workhorse. He can be a little bit of everything, a little bit of the pass catcher, a little bit of the runner. He's more of a north-south. You really don't want him dancing around going east-west and hesitating because he struggles. But those 3 guys together, I think it's a pretty above average room with those guys. And then eventually you add Nick Chubb.
Got you. as the season camp opens on the 22nd for the Browns. So as camp approaches, what one area right now on the offensive side of the ball do you think the Browns still need to address before camp starts?
I don't know about address, but it's something we got to monitor very closely, man. They had all three of their tackles end the season on IR. Jack Conklin, Jedrick Wills, and Big DeJuan Jones. All three of those dudes had knee injuries, and they're all supposed to be back. But, you know, it's at what point the Jack Conklin thing, that dude's perpetually injured. You know, so just monitoring the health. Does DeJuan Jones start getting looks at left tackle if Conklin is back? Like that's where a lot of my focus is going. Checking out those tackles and to see how they look and see what kind of usage they're looking at.
You've only seen one of them during minicamp. DeJuan's the only one that's practiced at this point. So there's still a lot up in the air with those guys.
So recently there was an article by a reporter, initials JR, and JR wrote that the question marks surrounding Deshaun Watson's health has loomed over the Browns all off season. JR, that sounds familiar. I'm just saying. On the last 10-minute camp, fans got to see Watson air the ball out and throw it deep downfield, and it looked good when doing it. All right, here's the thing. Jacob wrote that article. You've been watching them. Is this the season that the Cleveland Browns and their fans and the fans in the NFL finally get to see the Deshaun Watson free all that off-field incidents and injuries?
MVP shot Deshaun Watson.
MVP, yes. Deshaun, who was mentioned with the young thoroughbred quarterbacks of the day, with the Josh Allens, with the Patrick Mahomes. I kind of feel like the last, with everything he's dealt with off the field and then injuries, he's kind of been forgotten. And some people even question whether he still has it. What's your thoughts on that, gentlemen?
It's now or never, right? Like at this point, you can't keep waiting on it. So I think an interesting thing about the financials of it is they never restructured his deal this year, which means the cap hits the next couple of years if they decide to try to get out of it aren't quite as bad as what they had been if they'd kicked the can down the road. And I think they're hedging their bets. Like I feel confident, but I'm usually confident this time of the year. I don't have any reason not to be. He said all the right things. He looks the way he's supposed to look this time of the year. Teammates seem to be rallying around him. There seems to be good vibes in the building from the people I've talked to. You ain't got any excuses. You're healthy. You've got a decent offensive line in front of you. You've got good weapons, solid running backs, especially when Nick Chubb's out there. You got to go out and you got to get it done, because if you're not going to get it done this year, I don't think it comes back. Okay.
Same thing to you, Casey.
Yeah. Well, the shoulder injury was a broken bone, right? So in theory, the broken bone heals. I mean, we shouldn't have to worry about it. We saw him air it out. It'll be about his workload, because during the minicamp, he'd practice today, he'd be off a day, practice today, be off a day. But when they hit the Greenbrier, man, it's got to be all systems go, because you're implementing a new offense. And more to the point, they revamped the entire offensive coaching staff for Watson. You do that to give him what he needs. That's priorities 1, 2, and 3. And one thing that he's kind of struggled is you can tell he's in his head, you know, and with everything behind him, man, like all the off-field stuff, the contract, all the stuff weighs on him, and he's out there trying to make highlight plays, and it just struggles to get going. But in the 2 games that I've seen him look the best, it came after injury. In the second half of that Baltimore game, the last time we saw him, he completed all 14 passes in the second half while he was injured. You know, like, because he wasn't in his head. He was just getting the ball out, looking for the open guy, taking what the defense gives you. If he just does that, this thing will move, man. And the Browns are worried about it too, because they went and got Jameis to back him up. They went and got Winston to back him up. And that's a dude you know will be ready each and every week if he has to step in. I think you feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, just don't let him throw it too many times. I'm just speaking from experience. Nah, Jameis got a raw deal.
Short passes.
Nah, Jameis can make every throw on the field. There's not a throw he can't make.
That's also his problem, though, right? Is he's never seen a throw he can't make or a window too small. So
there you go. He's supremely confident in his own man, no matter what. You know,
are you guys going to look at an interview with that dude, though? You put a mic in that dude's face and it's magic.
Oh, man, and Jameis is he's a good guy, man. I mean, you have those when he was in college and, you know, the crab legs and stuff like that against the kid. I mean, like the kid, you know, we all make mistakes. We all make bad decisions. And hopefully we mature from it, man. But he was beloved.
That's a perfect person to have in the room with Deshaun, because Deshaun needs someone who can understand what it's like to have all that light on you and to come out the other side a better person. You know, if everything Deshaun's going through, you look at Jameis. Jameis been famous since he was 17 on that Elite 11 shit. You know what I mean? So he has a sounding board of someone who's went through not exactly the same thing, but similar type things, and you know, have a spotlight on them and still come out the other side better for it.
Yeah, Casey, I think you got an echo. Or is that Casey?
Is it me?
Or is it me? Who is it? Let me see. Is it me?
If somebody doesn't have headphones on, it could be feeding back in.
Testing.
Check.
Yeah, a slight echo.
Yeah, it's going on.
Yeah.
All right. But that's something that I never thought about. That's something I really never thought about. Jameis actually being that bridge for Deshaun. Someone, like you say, that he can lean on, a veteran who's been in the league, former number 1 overall draft pick, that's had ups, highs, and lows of being a quarterback in the National Football League. And like I said, man, it just spending time around Jameis or listening to Jameis, from those who were in the city when he was in New Orleans, man, they love Jameis. Jameis is beloved in that city. You know,
you're hard pressed to find someone more positive than Jameis.
He's always positive, and how he was treated. You know, many people were surprised he came back last year. You know, the way he was treated, because he was front. Listen, we know the old saying: you don't lose your job because of injury. Well, that didn't happen to him. You know,
had y'all 5-2. I think he was like 14 touchdowns to 3 picks or something at the time, man.
Yes. You know, then he goes out in the next year, you know. But anyway, we talking about the Browns. I don't want to get depressed right now.
My bad, Joe. My bad.
All right, so let's talk about, everything starts with Deshaun Watson. If Deshaun Watson is right mentally, because we all know the physical tools are there. Like you said, I think it's a lot mental with him. If he is there mentally, there is no doubt that the Browns absolutely have the firepower on offense, because not only do you have Chubb coming back, you got Amari Cooper, who continues just to be the constant professional, just a good football player. But you go out and you trade and you get Jerry Jeudy in there. What does Jerry Jeudy add to this Browns offense?
I think it starts with a guy that is truly made for the slot. Like, they haven't had a true slot wide receiver. And I know Jerry Jeudy can do some things on the outside too. I'm not like just pigeonholing him to being a slot guy, but really kind of under Kevin Stefanski, I don't think they've really had a guy that has been on this roster that really thrived majority of the time in the slot. You look at some of the most successful things that Jeudy did in Denver, it was out of the slot. He's got those quick, explosive feet off the line of scrimmage, good route runner. And the thing that he really does that the Browns have not been able to do, yards after catch. They cannot – it under Kevin Stefanski, and it's a lot of it, I think, is not necessarily the offense, but the style of wide receivers they had and some of the limitations they had at quarterback at times. That just guys aren't making play. Guys not named David Njoku are not making plays after the catch. You're catching the ball, you're going down. That's what they've been doing. They bring in a true slot guy that can win on the outside, and it's just creative and explosive in the open field. And they finally have that kind of, we always talk about easy yardage, right? Especially for a quarterback trying to get we talk about Deshaun Watson trying to get the mentals right. Well, getting some easy completions, a 5-yard throw that turns into a 20-yard gain, and all of a sudden you got a little bit of swagger. You're starting to feel good, starting to feel yourself. You're starting to make some big passes, and I think Jerry Jeudy can be like kind of a shot in the arm in that sense.
Jerry Jeudy.
I definitely agree with that.
Go ahead, now.
No, I definitely agree with that. My biggest thing is I don't understand why they don't utilize Njoku better than what they do already.
Well, that's the $1 million question we've been asking for like 10 years now.
Like the man is so good, and it's weird. When Watson was playing, Watson don't throw to him. It's all the other quarterbacks that throw to him.
Yep.
And you see what he does when they throw to him. He scores touchdowns. Like, why don't you use this guy? I had him on fantasy. I was just so mad. I was like, this man is an athletic freak, and he should be having 16 touchdowns this season. But no, Watson don't throw to him. He rather throw to Peoples. I'm like, why are you throwing to Peoples?
Yeah.
Dude is 28 years old going into his 8th season in the NFL.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's hard to believe he's already in his 8th season. But we're talking about Jeudy. Like, I like the addition of Jeudy. I wasn't sold right when they made the trade. Then I got in, I dug into the film. He's a separator. He's got good feet. You know what I mean? I think that he gives you yards after the catch. He's a vertical threat from within the slot. And then but you think about it. In reality, though, he should be your third option after Njoku. It should be Amari, Njoku, and then Jeudy. And then I think if you implement Njoku in the way that he should be used, which hopefully that's one thing Deshaun got to sit when he was sitting watching Flacco use his offense. Hopefully he just saw, man, that kid moves the chains. Get that ball in his hands, dude. He's magic after the catch, and is easiest person to get the ball to. And I still confidently believe that there's another level to Njoku's game to unlock in the red zone. So I think that you lean on he's a mutant out there, man. He's a mismatch. He's too fast for linebackers. He's too big for safeties. So you got to filter the ball through, get him at least 8 targets a game. That's about 130 on the season. If you do that, he'll crack 1,000 for the first time.
Yeah.
And what are you guys expecting from second-year receiver Cedric Tillman?
Tillman's my guy, man. Like he's one of those guys that you look at what he did in college and kind of what happened as a rookie, and you're like, that dude just wasn't ready. Like they asked him to run like 2 routes in college, and it became evident that like a diverse route tree was not in the cards for him as a rookie. And nothing highlights it more than the incompletion on that primetime game from Flacco, where Flacco loses his ever-loving mind. Because clearly Tillman did not go where he was supposed to go in that situation. Mm-hmm. But he brings something to the room unique, and that's truly why I'm optimistic about it. Nobody else has that kind of size, physicality, and athleticism in the wide receiver room. Like some guys have a little bit of everything, but that combination for him is pretty unique. And you look at a guy that size and you're like, well, he can't get vertical. He can get if you doubt Cedric Tillman can get vertical on you, he'll get vertical. I think he's a guy that could have you 400 or 500 yards, maybe something around there, but he could have like 6 touchdowns, like 5 or 6 touchdowns, some big red zone touchdowns because of that kind of that size, and that he's got a really good ability to high point the ball, go up with those contested catches. And I think he could be a guy that like, he doesn't blow away the stats, but if you look at a highlight reel and some of these clutch plays, he could be one of those guys that shows up in that sense. So
will Cedric Tillman be wide receiver number 3, or is it still Elijah Moore's job?
It's probably, I think it's up in the air, don't you, Casey?
That Camp's going to have to separate that. So we had your boy Jeremy from Beware the Stampede after we signed Dorsey. We brought him on, kind of hip us to things. And we started talking about all the option routes that Dorsey ran in Buffalo. Right. Because all the reports are that Tillman's coming in phenomenal shape. Looked like he took a step physically coming into the season. But none of my questions with Cedric Tillman are physical. It's between the ears. And if you're running those option routes, man, you need to be on the same page as your quarterback. You need to see the field the same way. You need to read the defenses the same way, because that changes everything. So if he took that step, he could overtake Elijah Moore during this season. I don't think he starts off in front of Moore, but like he brings something physical to the table no one else in that room has. I mean, he's got the size, man. He's got the physicality. So it's for the taking. It's just, can he make that step mentally?
Is this a make or break count for David Bell? No. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I said safe. And you went and drafted Jamari Thrash. You know, when I look at these young receivers, you look at Tillman, you look at even Michael Woods, David Bell, Jamari Thrash. I would say David Bell has the lowest ceiling out of all those players, but the highest floor. And he's someone who might be really good at these choice routes because he'll just find those openings in the defense. He doesn't have the physical tools to really, you know, be a game breaker in any type of way. But like he might just be a third down receiver, and you know you need that in the league. So he might be able to carve a role out for himself. But if Jamari Thrash takes off and just takes all of his snaps, you could see David Bell left by the wayside during camp.
I mean, they drafted 2 wide receivers, Jamari Thrash and Cedric Tillman, in consecutive years after David Bell. So I mean, like that puts you as the third guy of those 3 in terms of like, you know, hey, they went out, got another wide receiver, and then had to get another wide receiver because that kind of tells you how the NFL is right now too. But I mean, he's a zone beater. Like Casey said, like I think, hey, you need 5 yards on third down, he'll get you 6. He's not going to break it for 15, but like
you need 12 yards, he'll get you 6. Like
it's like 6 to 10, maybe on a good day he gets 10. I don't know. The Cade York thing is funny. Yeah, that's
a non-thing. They just literally re-signed their kicker. They just gave D-Hop. Cade York's a camp leg. They're going to hope to develop him. And they don't like, you know, they got their draft pick back for free. They drafted a kicker, which I would never recommend. Don't draft a kicker.
Don't do that.
Don't do it, man.
Not in the 4th round.
Dude.
Yeah.
No. Dolph, I think you're muted.
Yeah, you're muted.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we're good.
I don't know. That cyber attack a little glitch today messing with me. It's been a crazy day, man. It's been a crazy day. All right, so all the weapons, Deshaun Watson, talented receivers, talented running backs. You got the NFL reigning coach of the year. Though he wasn't my choice, I thought he did a great job, but that guy, I still say that guy in Houston, that was a hell. Nobody saw that coming. No one.
No.
But up front, that's the key. Also, nothing works in this league. Is it just me, or when you look around the National Football League, offensive line plays bad? It's just bad. Could college football, the way everything's spread right now, could it be hurting the development of offensive linemen?
It's hard to say, man. This past draft was actually pretty deep for that, you know. But in general, even like this coming year, when you look at all the tackles, most of them project as a guard.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I don't know, but I agree with you, man. If you look across the league, man, offensive line play is poor. You can single out a couple teams that I think put together really, you know, like Detroit's got a good unit. Philly always has a good unit. I think the Chargers are sneaky now. I think if you look what they put together up front, you know, the Browns are viewed as having a good offensive line, but I kind of feel like we're coasting off what they did in 2020 still for a lot of these guys.
The tackles.
Yeah, quite the tackles. You're solid on the interior, man. So, you know, but it's going to be a make or break up front, you know, because last year they were down the tackles 5 and 6.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how bad we were injured up. So.
Oh, yeah. Got a lot of
it was so bad last year. Y'all had to put the call in. The old man went to himself to get him off the couch, out the recliner. Shout out the old man with him, Joe Flacco.
He looked good, though. He looked good.
I got a Joe Flacco T-shirt in my closet right now. I swear to God.
Yeah.
Joe came in slanging that thing, man. You know, I was calling him Old Man Winter, man. But listen, Old Man Winter, man, he balled last year, man.
Yeah,
and listen,
he played well.
Look, the Browns made history last year. This year is courtesy of CBS Sports HQ, man. No team since the AFL and the NFL merged in 1970 reached the playoff without their week one starting quarterback, running back, left tackle, and right tackle until the Browns did it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I read this, I thought it was only 3. I didn't realize it was the right tackle too.
Yeah.
So
Conklin, Wills, yeah.
So you lose both bookends, your stud running back, and your franchise $200 million quarterback, and you still make the playoffs.
That's why Stefanski won Coach of the Year right there.
And your rookie right tackle, because you lost both right tackle. Your rookie right tackle in DeJuan Jones, who was fantastic after Jack Conklin went down.
And then he gets hurt.
Yeah, then he goes down. It's like, and you're playing James Hudson out there, which we're not going to talk about that.
But I mean, when you read that's just basically saying that they should make another run this year.
It should. Thank you. That's where I'm going. There are no excuses for them not to be back in the playoffs and at least advance to the divisional round, in my opinion. The talent is there. And listen, we know they got one of the better defenses in the National Football League. Yeah. And for damn sure, they got arguably, depending on who you talk to on a given day, probably the most disruptive force there is in Myles Garrett. Just wrecking havoc on the field, man. So, like Nine said, this season, I believe it's playoffs or bust, but not just the playoffs. You got to the playoffs last year with Joe Flacco. If you guys can virtually stay healthy for the majority of the season and enter the playoffs that way, I think this team should at least make it to the divisional round and have an opportunity to play with a chance to go to the AFC Championship game. That's just my feeling on it. Now, you got anything?
I actually agree. I think to do that, what you just read, losing the quarterback, losing the running back, left tackle, right tackle, backup, rookie,
amazing,
you have to right now have the best coaching room in the NFL. Just think about that. Besides, I know what Houston did was amazing, but when you're playing with third strings that technically shouldn't get as much time as these guys got, and you got to the playoffs, and if not for one or two plays, you beat that team and go a game deeper. You got a great coaching staff. So that means you got a little bit of everything to make it happen to get as far as you want to get. It's up to you now. There is no. It's not about the NFL. It's up to the Browns. It's up to the Browns how far they go.
So, gentlemen, why didn't the Browns re-sign Joe Flacco? I heard reports that he wanted to stay. Was it a money thing or what was it?
Nah, man, it was a big part of it is like they didn't want someone behind Deshaun that fans were going to be clamoring for before the season even started. You know, if Deshaun goes out there and throws an interception week one, that fans be calling for Flacco.
Yeah.
And like, don't get me wrong, man. What Joe did on that 5-game stretch was fun. It was a ton of fun because it showed the offense was finally explosive. But we were turning the ball over at the worst clip in the league.
Yeah.
And that's also that's the flip side of Flacco. Like, it's another reason they probably weren't scared to go get Jameis. Like, okay, like you know, like if you're going to play YOLO ball, like I would rather do it with a kid who's 10 years younger, and you know, and not be a distraction the way that Flacco might have been a distraction, just because the way the fan base gravitated towards him. But I want to touch on what you guys said, man. Like for me, it's a step further than just making the playoffs, man. We have to win the North.
Yeah,
we have to win the North and host a home playoff game, man. Yeah. It's time. This has all been building towards this, man. And if you stay healthy, there's no excuse for why this isn't the season that you finally win the AFC North. We've never won it.
You've never won it, and that just sucks.
Yeah, I didn't know you never won it. I didn't know that.
No, man.
Yeah, so the last division championship they won was in the 80s, and that was the AFC Central. So it was before the AFC North.
Was Brian Sipe?
89, it was Kozar.
Wow. I went back. I saw Brian Sipe. Some Cleveland fan didn't remember that name.
MVP in 78, man. Let's go.
Brian Sipe, you know. But listen.
That's a long time ago. Damn.
Yeah, that's a long time
Sipe's
ago.
the only quarterback to throw for 4,030 touchdowns in a season.
Yes.
Would love to see those fall this year.
In franchise history, the only quarterback for 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns.
And he only did it once, so.
But yeah, and
interesting.
That's very impressive because of the age of football back then.
Mm-hmm.
It was so run and everything based off of the run game and play action, and medium to short pass, but for the pass for 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns, back then that was a lot.
Yeah, that's what got him the MVP.
That was a lot. That Brian Sipe got an MVP. Mm-hmm. And the man with the highest completion percentage in the history of National Football League doesn't have one.
You that crazy?
That's crazy. It's crazy. I'm just saying, man. It's crazy. We talking about Browns. We talking about the North now. You guys feel like, hey, if it's now or never for the Browns in the North. Mm-hmm. As we head into this season right now, there's not a game has not been played yet. Mm-hmm. Let's rank the AFC North right now, heading into the season. Who would be the number 4 team in the AFC North right now today?
That's very. I think it's Pittsburgh. I'm not sure.
I think of Pittsburgh too.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the quarterback position at all. And I like Justin Fields. I'm an Ohio State guy. I like him more than what some people might, but like, I don't know what's going on there. I watched Russell Wilson a lot last year, and they've got, you're looking at potentially 2 rookies on that offensive line starting out the gate. Outside of George Pickens, I'm not totally scared of that wide receiver core. I like Roman Wilson, but that's a rookie in the slot that just didn't have a high volume before at Michigan. And then on defense, it's still Pittsburgh, but I don't know if that offense can do much as it's currently structured, because they're going to try to put it on the ground and pound you with Arthur Smith, and I'm not sure that scores a lot of points right now in this NFL.
I don't disagree, man. But here's the thing with Pittsburgh, like, even though I don't really love their roster, they're going to be better than I want them to be.
Oh yeah,
they're going to hover right around 500. That's what they do. You know what I mean? This could be another situation where every team in this division, if they're remotely healthy, could finish 500 or better.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true, actually.
Okay, so Pittsburgh bringing up the rear. Who's number 3?
Cincinnati. This is where the Bengals slot, man.
I got a horse.
What you guys say, Jacob? What you guys say? I see your face.
I was just impressed that he actually said it, because we dance around it all the time, and I was just like,
Casey, like, he talking with his shoulders right now. He talking with his shoulders.
I don't know why everybody's so damn hype on him, man. We're talking about a quarterback who's only finished. He's been in the league 4 years, and he's finished 2 seasons. I don't know that he's built for it. He's skillful. He can sling it, but like, that dude's not healthy, man. That dude gets banged up pretty easy, and he holds on to the football. Everybody wants to blame the line, but it's his style of play. And I don't know if he can change that, man. It is what it is.
That is true. I mean, he do hold on to the rock.
Y'all, you think he holds on to the rock too much, too long?
Oh yeah.
I mean, for the fact that he has a very bad O-line, he doesn't change his game style up to go to, what's the word I'm trying to look for, to account for that. He doesn't.
He doesn't really account for that.
So he has too much confidence in his O-line.
And he has too much confidence in his own ability to make plays, because he's been a playmaker his entire life. Yeah. I don't know how you shake that out of yourself, you know what I mean? But like, every now and again, you got to live to fight another day. And especially, I mean, these injuries start stacking is what it is. Gotcha. He's like, you know what I mean? He's been in the league 4 years, and he's finished 2 of them on the IR.
That's true. Well, I guess the number 2 team in the AFC North right now, as we sit here today, is the Baltimore Ravens.
Or it could be us. I think those are the 2 teams that I would bank on making the playoffs.
I think it's 1A.
Baltimore and Cleveland.
Baltimore and Cleveland.
This is what I'll say. I think it's 1A, 1B. But what I will say about Baltimore that I don't think is said enough, because Lamar's fantastic. Like, I'm not that guy that walks around saying he's a running back, because he's not. Like, that's just, I'm not going to entertain that silliness, because it's just never been true. And he's come a long way as a passer too. He's been fantastic. But for me, I don't think we're talking about what they lost on defense enough. And I'm not just talking about the players. You lost your best edge player and you didn't really replace him. As much as you want to hate on Clowney was number one and as their pass rusher, and I don't really think they really replaced the caliber of impact that he had last year. And losing McDonald, I think, is going to affect them more so than people want to give it credit for. And you've lost talent at every level of that defense, plus the master that put together such a fantastic scheme last year.
Mm-hmm.
I think there could be some growing pains for them on defense early, and that could potentially, if Cleveland comes out of the gate firing, that could be the difference into who wins the division.
Yeah, very true. My issue with them last year is when we got to the playoffs and they ended up, they eventually lost. I saw quit. I didn't see they just lost. I saw quit. They gave up in that playoff game. They stopped playing.
They're frustrated. You can see it. Yeah,
that's a big word, no?
Go back and watch that game. Go back and watch that game. Lamar quit in that game. Yes. I do feel that.
Lamar Jackson quit.
I said that during our live stream. I felt he quit in that game. Go back and watch that game. They show him on the sideline complaining all game. He quit that game.
Now, Raven Nation, that's non saying that, not me.
At nonfiction, NONPFIXION. Come at me.
Now I want that smoke, baby. Now I want that smoke. But listen,
he quit.
So, all right. Just because they're defending AFC North champion, I'm gonna go Ravens, Browns, Bengals, Steelers, like pretty much the order that everyone said.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just something about your rivals, man.
Yeah,
Steel City, man. It's just something about them.
Yeah,
it's that coaching staff, man.
They made the playoff with Rudolph.
I know.
Kenny Pickett, the man won games with Kenny Pickett as his quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, how the hell do they keep doing it?
I don't know, because
it's coach.
I don't understand.
Every year I'm like, this is it, man. This is the year. They finally
implode.
Boom, 10 wins in a playoff game. Like, are you like, come on?
Everybody knew that Rudolph wasn't going to lead them past the everybody knew they were going to lose that game.
Yeah.
But they I gotta give credit where credit due. They fought hard in that game. Now, speaking of that game, they call it not a fumble. With the tight, was that a fumble or am I crazy? Because now we don't know what catch is. I'm starting not to know what a fumble is. Because since I've been knee-high to an Eskimo, I know now well that was a fumble, but how you come back and say it's not a fumble? I don't understand. I don't understand that. And this league is crazy, man. And there was no explanation given after the game.
Yeah.
If I'm a Steelers fan, I'm outraged. Like, I don't know. But anyway.
You're not wrong, man. The thing is, man, like the officiating in the league, it could be streamlined. They don't want to do it. I don't know how this is a $1 billion business, and you tell me you can't get an eye in the sky just to, what I mean? It's silly. I don't. We're finally just now getting past using chains to measure first downs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I mean, they could innovate a lot of things.
From me and Zach watching so many international sports and how they have cameras everywhere, and they don't have as much money as the NFL. There's no excuse. There's no excuses.
Nope. There's no single one.
You know what that's about.
Oh yeah, exactly.
You know what that's about, man.
But still, it's like just make the effort. Make the effort.
Yeah, make the effort, man. Okay. So we're in the AFC North. We believe the top two teams in the AFC North are the Browns and the Ravens, and everything for Cincinnati depends on the health of Joe Burrow. Can he start the season healthy? And most importantly, can he remain healthy throughout the season, healthy enough to get through the season?
He's never been healthy enough to get through training camp. He's never had a training camp.
No.
Not even the year they went to the Super Bowl?
Nope. No, he had an appendectomy in the preseason and then sat out.
Right. You're right.
You're right. He did.
Yeah, he had the appendectomy. He was recovering from the knee surgery. Last year it was
a calf last year.
Strain. Yeah, like so.
But now he's got a banged up wrist. He's coming into it with a banged up wrist.
Yeah,
he's playing piano to get through it.
When we found out about the calf strain, the banged up wrist was already a thing. They just never told nobody.
Yeah, crazy, right?
Yeah, because the camera caught him coming from the bus to the locker room, and his wrist was wrapped up like a damn baseball glove.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody knew about it.
I don't know if he's built for it, man.
Man,
I guess he shaved his head. Did you see that? He shaved all his hair.
No, I didn't see that.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, he has. I don't know what that.
Like a Q-tip.
Know what that's about, but he did shave his head.
Maybe he trying to be rough and tough.
He was sick of the Ollie McCulkin memes, is what it is. I'm looking like Home Alone.
Funny.
Oh man, that's funny. All right, let's go. Let's stay in the AFC. Okay, so let's go to AFCs. Now we're going around the NFL.
Let's go.
Who wins the AFCs?
The East?
Yeah,
probably
AFC
Dolphins,
East.
man.
I think
probably
it's
Dolphins.
Yeah, probably Dolphins.
Yeah.
I don't think the Bills got better.
Mm-hmm.
And now the Bills have Josh Allen. He's an eraser. He's so talented that he could pull everyone up. But I just look at what they lost versus what they brought in, and you'd be hard pressed to convince me that the Bills are better off this year than they were this time last year.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're better. They're still a decent team, but I wouldn't say they're better. Not what you lost. No way. And
the Jets are the other team I guess we'd be talking about. And I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, it's all on A-Rod, right?
Yeah, they got.
That's all what they were without him. Their defense was straight, but without him, they couldn't put points up. How'd that get better?
But the thing is, they got rid of the problem. The problem was Zach Wilson, who should have never been the number 2 overall selection anyway. But I blame the media for that because everybody knows goddamn well he was not the number 2 overall player in that draft. And the Jets were just a quarterback.
People are just chasing Mahomes, though. They're like, oh, he can run and throw the ball the opposite direction. And it's like, dude, if you're chasing Mahomes, you're going to be chasing the rest of your life. There's one Patrick Mahomes,
Very true. Very true.
So that's why the reason he got drafted so high is because he showed some Mahomes type traits. They're not even the same planet, not even the same conversation.
Right. like I tell everybody right now, there are the tiers. There's Patrick Mahomes, then there's tier 1.
Yep.
It's just that simple.
Yeah.
He ain't on the tier. He's Patrick. That's I'm gonna leave that right there.
He's an alien.
Sticking with the AFC East, I'm going with the Jets.
There we go.
And I'm going with the Jets, even if Aaron Rodgers get hurt, because they got a competent backup. They got a competent backup now, but he's been having injury problems his whole career. But when he's healthy, he plays good football. I think the man could have been the starter in that football. I'm talking about Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah.
I think Tyrod Taylor is one of the best backups in the National Football League. His thing has always been injuries. When he gets his opportunity, injuries. So now you don't have Zach Wilson to sabotage your season because that's what it was. He, like I said, I just did a preview on him. Let's see, he had a game here and there. But for the most part, that team stunk because of him. You got weapons. You got Breece Hall. You got Wilson. You got a decent offensive line. And like we all know, the Jets have right now a defense that can take you to the Super Bowl. They're that talented in my eyes, I feel. I might be the only one that feel that way, but I think they're really talented. Now, a healthy Aaron Rodgers for the majority of the season, the Jets gonna be a problem.
What does healthy Aaron Rodgers look like at 41 years old, though?
He's better than Zach Wilson.
You can't take shrooms during the season.
One of us is better than Zach Wilson.
But what I'm saying is, even a 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers is still middle of the pack NFL quarterback.
Okay.
And I'll take that. If you take and if he protects the ball, he got a young running back to lean on.
Yep.
That opens up the play action. You got a stud number 1 receiver still developing in Wilson. I forgot the tight end's name, but he's kind of
Tyler Conklin.
Yeah, Tyler Conklin. So everything's there for them, man.
Hmm?
I just think, everything depends, on that Achilles, man, and how healthy is he and can he be. But everybody is saying Dolphins with good reasons, but can they win in the cold weather?
No, but they play in Florida, man. They ain't got to play in cold weather until it matters in the playoffs.
But that's the thing.
Yeah.
They got to win the division to get that wild card game at home.
Yeah, I know. I just think I see them winning the division. I think the Jets can make the playoffs. I think they're in the talks for it. If you're like limiting it down,
Right.
Is it crazy that the Bills could finish third in that division? That
No.
sounds crazy, right?
No.
That's where we're at.
Yeah, but I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility at all.
Where we're at.
No, I don't. I think it's a real possibility. I just saw it on Josh Allen, man.
Yeah.
Josh Allen to me, when he first came in, he was that success story because he came from Wyoming, and really, I didn't know about Josh Allen until the draft process, and I started looking him up and watching him. Like, the kid got us something, and you saw how he developed in the league, and you're like, this kid is bona fide. This kid is real, but it seems ever since those 13 seconds, they have not been able to recover after those 13 seconds. It seems like everything's just going downhill. If they didn't win last year, you had them at home. The Chiefs had an offense that for the majority of the season struggled, didn't have a real bona fide number one receiver. You had them at home and you lost that game.
Yeah.
And then to make matters worse, in the NFL draft, unexpectedly, you trade with the Chiefs and help them get a game breaker.
Yeah.
The man that just happened to run the fastest 40 in the history of the National Football Conference. I don't know if I'm a Bills fan. Shout out to Jeremy. I'm sorry, Jeremy, that you had to go through that right now. Because right now, y'all need to stop circling the wagons and take the wheel off them damn wagons, bro. Y'all need
absolute words.
Yeah, they need a new blacksmith in Buffalo, man. Because them wheels that came off that wagon. They need a new blacksmith, man. All right, let's go to AFC West. Easiest one, Chiefs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
I'm gonna say the Chiefs, but we went 4-2 in the division last year, and that's what a rookie quarterback. So y'all say what you want. I think we can compete with them. Period.
Jacob, if you don't know, Don is a silver and black guy through and through.
We went 4-2 in the division with a kid that wasn't even supposed to play last year.
Y'all beat the Chiefs last year, too.
And we smacked the Chiefs on Christmas, and we destroyed the
I love
Chargers.
Minshew Mania, man. Like I'm all on board on Minshew Mania, baby. Always.
No, it's gonna be Aiden.
You think O'Connell gets the start over Minshew?
I think O'Connell will get the start on Minshew. Yes.
Okay.
I do think that. I think
My only reservation is like I was racking my brain the other day because you see this where a coach gets fired, the interim coach steps in, all of a sudden you get juice and your team's playing different. But then when you retain that guy full time, how often does that guy end up becoming the guy? When you retain your interim coach, and like it's sometimes a magic wears off.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That'd be my reservation.
I think the big difference between this situation is he's everything that what a Raider is. Yeah. So if the ownership doesn't take the chance, they miss something. At least they know, because before they should have did it a couple years ago when we had the backup then, the interim then. They should have did it a couple years ago, and they didn't. That's all the players wanted that coach to be the head coach. This time they did it because the players are asking for it, and they finally listened. And so now it's like, okay, if it doesn't work out, we did what you guys wanted. It doesn't work out. Now let's move on to somebody else.
And they did it because Max Crosby said, if you don't, I want to be traded. That's why they did it.
Yeah. Right now, you also got Devontae Adams making a little bit of noise, looking like he was disgruntled during that wide receiver show. It was on Netflix.
When he was cussing on the sideline.
Why? That was Garoppolo. Garoppolo got other players injured. This ain't the first time. It's the first time.
Well, when I look at the skill positions,
he got Kittle destroyed, man. in San Francisco.
I think you like your skill positions, Devontae. I think you got a good combo at tight end now, Bowers and Mayer.
Oh yeah,
I don't like losing Josh Jacobs and replacing him with Zamir White. Where do you stand on that?
I don't like the move. I wish Jacobs would have stayed because I mean you didn't really see enough of Zamir when they were playing. But that's also because they did him as he wasn't a workhorse. Jacobs was a workhorse, so that's how they ran it. But I mean, the way he ended the season, I think he looked really good. I honestly don't know. That's just the honest truth.
So Zamir White starts over Alexander Madison?
Yeah.
Right now on our lads, he's in front of him.
100% he's starting over at Madison.
No. All right, now speaking of the Raiders, because now we're talking about the going around the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Gallup.
Mm-hmm.
I believe toward the end of last season, Michael Gallup started to kind of get back to his old form. I believe by the end of the season, by the beginning of this season, that week 2, if not week 1, it'll be Devontae Adams and Michael Gallup as your starting wide receiver. Jacoby Myers, big play.
Jacoby Myers is actually really good. I like Jacoby a lot. I didn't like him originally because he came from the Patriots. I didn't like the move, but then seeing him play and the way he plays, I actually end up really liking Jacoby. I like him a lot.
Yes.
But I mean, I can see what you're saying. Yeah, right. I can see what you're saying about Gallup because I actually like Gallup. So
that's a pretty good lottery ticket too.
Yeah. Yes, it is. I mean, boom or bust, man. And you didn't really have to give up much to get him there. Yeah, Gallup pretty much didn't want him. And he's looking, and when you get a player who's hungry and looking to prove those naysayers wrong and those who let him go, like, hey, who basically are saying, like, we don't think you can play anymore.
Yeah, you're not worth it.
Yeah, you're not worth it. We don't see your worth here anymore. I think he's going to come in and he's going to, one thing I could say, because I am here in the Dallas area, man, is that one thing they did talk about with him was his work ethic, man. Mm-hmm. So that you won't have to worry about. He is a pro's pro, and he will work. But we all know in the AFC West, it really doesn't matter. It will be the Kansas City Chiefs. The Raiders might win 8 games, go 8-9. I give them 8-9. Now, if Minshew starts, I think the Raiders flip that and go 9-8. I don't know about Aiden O'Connell. I know the team likes him, but
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Think about it like this. When we seen Aiden O'Connell last season, he had a play caller that never called plays before.
Okay.
Nobody talks about that. When he was a starter, the play caller never called plays, ever. So gotcha. it makes sense that everybody was struggling. When your head is struggling, everything else is going to struggle too. And the fact that he actually did play well with a struggling play caller, I'm like, give him opportunity. Give him opportunity. He kind of earned it.
So you're fine with him opening up as the starting quarterback?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know, because we've seen the offense that Luke Getsy ran in Chicago, so now he's there.
Yeah, I don't know.
What elements does he bring? Because, I mean, O'Connell's not running. Minshew's pretty sneaky. He can do some athletic stuff. But, I don't know. I'm not as in tune, so I don't know which way they lean in with the starter there. Right. Minshew has a high floor, but he's risk adverse. I don't think Devontae would like having him because he ain't going to be taking shots. Like, Minshew doesn't let go like that.
And that's what Connell will. Because he got the arm to do it. I mean, I just think, just looking back, especially for him in college, he was literally quarterback number 13 and fought his way up to be a starter. Like, when somebody who got that kind of heart, I got to give him a chance. But he's in the right place, even the Raiders. It's team nothing but heart. Like, it's the nothing but heart.
I know they gave him the Carr's number before the body was even cold.
And that was I found out he was on a podcast. He didn't pick that number. The coaches gave him that number.
Oh man, it's cold.
Yeah, the coach gave him a number. That's why the number he has is 12 because he's actually a Tom Brady fan.
Okay.
Let's go to AFC South. Indianapolis, Jacksonville, Tennessee, and Houston. Who's at the real number 4 entering the season right now?
At the number 4?
Still got to be Tennessee, right?
Tennessee. I think Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
All right. Jacksonville be next.
They fired Vrabel. I thought they were just going to tank and try to rebuild, but then they started signing people like they were still going to be competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense at all.
I don't get the philosophy. I don't think you get better firing Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
You only fire Mike, in my mind, you fire Mike Vrabel to tank. Like
if you're tearing it down to the studs.
Yeah, you're doing what the Browns did when they brought in Sashi Brown and they traded everybody and cut everybody, got 35 first-round picks. Like, you got to do something like that. But instead, then they're just like, well, that's like, what if we sign Calvin Ridley to a big deal?
Yeah.
Like,
What if we win every other game?
that was more internal, I
just
think.
win 8 games, get like the 11th overall pick, and just roll with it.
Yeah, I think that was more internal with him and Matt and the Brads, the higher ups, man. I just think they weren't seeing eye to eye anymore.
They pissed him off when they traded away AJ Brown. I know that.
Oh my, yeah, they did. You know, and Derrick Henry was walking out the door.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we already touched on the AFC North, but Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry.
That's a problem. That's a
problem right there. Okay, so everyone agrees that Tennessee right now would bring up the real Jacksonville or the Colts. Flip a coin.
I got Jacksonville there. I think Colts are going to be sneaky.
So
if Richardson's healthy, that I really like Shane Steichen as a
that's where I'm at. I like Shane Steichen a great deal
for the Colts. Yeah. And then of course the backup is who old man went to himself.
Oh man, there he is.
Old man went to himself. Look, he got cold. He had to go inside, baby. He had to go inside. And that water too. They went too cold coming out their lakes, man. I gotta go inside. And listen, Anthony Richardson was playing good football before he got hurt, man. So I thought he was more of a project coming out.
Me too.
In the draft, but he actually surprised me. I mean,
well, if you look what Steichen did when he was with the Eagles, making Hurts would threaten the line of scrimmage with his legs and then open everything else. Well, Richardson's a much better athlete than Hurts.
Yeah.
So Steichen took all those principles, and when you have a rushing quarterback, all of a sudden your floor is much higher.
Yeah.
But he's got to stay healthy. I mean, he looked good, but that sample size was pretty small.
Yeah, you're right. It's real small. All right, so we all know who knows. So we're going with the coach number 2, But number 1 was my MVP all the way up to week 13. We was that close to making history. This kid here was listen. I know everybody Dolph always talking on and on about CJ Stroud. Damn it, I'm talking about it because what we saw last year was not normal. That was some special football we saw out of a rookie quarterback. Listen, do we realize we were talking about a franchise that had fired a head coach 3 straight years after one season?
Yeah.
And this kid goes in there with a new head coach, and in 1 year, they have changed the entire culture of that football team so much that right now they're everybody's off-season darlings to make a run at the Super Bowl. Everywhere you go, you're hearing what? Texans. And listen, they're loading up to them too. Some people like Stephon Diggs moved there. I don't. Because to me, I think Stephon Diggs is the kind of player that is a little bit too much about me.
Feels like it, doesn't it?
And I think he can mess up that chemistry. But you got a strong head coach, so that helps too. But I don't like the trade though. I don't think they needed them personally.
Yeah, you wonder if it'll stifle the growth of Tank Dell or Nico,
Right.
But then again, I don't know what to expect out of Tank Dell. You know what I mean? Dude breaks his leg and shoots himself, and I don't know, and he's little, but he's so talented. He gets separation. He's definitely an anomaly in the league.
Yeah, I mean, and then the kid from Hutchinson. I mean, the kid from Iowa State. I mean, and they really didn't use the tight end that much enough. They didn't even use Schultz right, I believe. I believe they can get more out of Schultz this year. Getting him more involved.
Joe Mixon thing is sneaky.
Yeah, Joe Mixon.
Yeah, there you go.
Move, man, might sneak up on you.
That's what I'm talking about. Now you give them a running game with the play action. And what I think a lot of people didn't understand about CJ Stroud was many had the mindset that he was a running quarterback. No, he's actually a pocket quarterback who doesn't like to run unless he's forced to run. Yes. He can get out the pocket and hurt you with his legs, but he doesn't. He prefers to sit back there and pick you apart. And I know it's only one season, but damn it, we ain't see a season like that since if you was live, Dan Marino, his rookie year, and when he took the Dolphins all the way to the Super Bowl. You know, that's how special this kid's season was. He was it was week 7 or 8. The kid had thrown a damn intercept.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
you know, and I know the team that he threw his first intercept against. Just fumble the damn ball right back to him. You can't. Some of this stuff you can't make up, man. I'm telling you, some of the stuff you can't make up, man. All right, let's jump to the NFC. Who represents the NFC? I'm gonna change it up a little bit. Who represents the NFC in the Super Bowl? Let's just go to it.
Coming off the top rope, huh?
I'm coming off the top rope on this one. Let's go.
I'm probably just gonna say San Francisco until proven otherwise.
Maybe this is a little spicy. Give me the Rams.
There you go. Oh, good mind, steak alike. I don't care what Casey say about you, Jacob. What say about you, man? I like this brother. I like him. That's what I was thinking too, man. Those sneaky Rams. Everybody like, well, they lost the great Aaron Donald. Okay, but that Nakua, that Cup, listen, and that running back. I'm telling y'all.
Kyron Williams. Yeah, Kyron Williams is nice.
Yes. And that coach they got with the offensive mind he has, I'm telling you. And
didn't they draft?
Go ahead.
They got Blake Corum, right?
Yeah, they got Corum.
Yeah. And they got Blake Corum also.
Yep.
And who's their backup now? The backup quarterback there is
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Well, hey. I take Jimmy G as a backup. You could do a lot worse than Jimmy G.
Didn't they get both the Florida State guys? Didn't they get Verse and Fisk?
Yes.
Yes, they got Verse. Verse did go there.
And Braden Fisk, man, they're loading up the D-line. I mean, I know you lose Aaron Donald. You can't replace Aaron Donald with one player.
Right, there's only one.
But you as much talent as you can at that line, man.
Yeah, so we got the Rams. Okay. Who you got, Nine? Who you got? Me and Jake going with the Rams.
I was thinking the Niners personally, but I mean I can definitely see the Rams. But yeah, I think the Niners.
To proven otherwise, I just got to go with San Fran, man. That's just too much damn talent. I don't know how they keep getting away with it.
Yeah, I'm about to get yelled at. I'm gonna have a lot of people calling me in the morning. I saw your podcast and you ain't say us. I'm talking about them Cowboy fans. I'm married to Cowboy. I'm in the Cowboy family, man. Which is hard. I'm a Saint fan.
I don't even know what to expect there, though.
Man, listen. 12 wins the last 3 years. Dak just has to get the job done. He has to get over that hump, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you won 12 games the last 3 years.
But if he does that, does he pull the ladder up after him and give the Cowboys the finger? Because they can't franchise him.
They can't
hit the open market and take dumb money.
Who they go pay? That's the dilemma. You got him up. You got CD. Go have Michael coming up again.
Yep, I know.
That's the dilemma. You can't pay all 3 of them.
No,
now you could pay all 3 of them, but the rest of your team gonna really suck.
They're not gonna do all 3 of them.
No, they can't. They can't. So I think they will let Dak walk though.
I don't think Dak's gonna be there next season. I'll be honest with you.
Wouldn't that be the most like we always make this joke around Cleveland, like whenever the Browns do something successful, it's always in such a weird ass fashion. Like it's like what are you doing? Like you had to start 5 quarterbacks to make it to the playoffs. Like what are you doing? It's like, but like wouldn't that be such a Cowboys thing that Dak takes him to the Super Bowl, gives him the finger, and rides away into the sunset? Like,
yeah. Oh, he take him to the Super Bowl. They go lock him up. They go get him whatever you want. Bye CD. That's what that will be. CD ain't getting his money. Michael, you think they'll keep CD over Michael Parsons?
Oh.
I think Michael Parsons he can wreck a game, man.
He's generational.
Yeah.
He can wreck a game. He's on that TJ Watt Myles Garrett.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
Do you want to let CD walk away though too? Because he's gonna go somewhere.
You can't pay him.
We're
looking at the money now these quarterbacks getting. When Dak comes up, probably we talking damn near $60 million a year, probably.
Yeah. But Dak could get that from anyone because they can't franchise him. He can hit the open market.
He done been franchise. The franchise is over for him. So it's either give him his money or somebody else go pay him.
Yep, facts.
It's just that simple.
Like I said, I have a feeling that he's not going to be there next season.
Okay.
Win or lose.
Where could you see him playing? Where could you see Dak playing other than Dallas?
New Orleans.
I can see in New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Yeah, look at you.
Yeah, because we got.
You trying to start a fight at home, ain't you?
I'm just saying, New Orleans. Yeah, I said it. I want to prove me wrong, but yeah, I said it. Okay, since we talking, I'm gonna ask y'all because you guys are unbiased. I'm gonna ask you right now. When you think of Derek Carr, when you look at Derek Carr play, what you see? A declining quarterback, a bad quarterback, an average quarterback?
Mid.
Average. Yeah, he's very average, I'd say.
He's mid. Spikes high and low, but he's mid. You know what I mean? Like I don't. If you look at his overall stats and you just looked at the stats and you didn't watch the games, you'd be like, it's a pretty damn good quarterback. But when you watch the game, you're like, I don't think he can take me where I want to go.
It's never in the moments that you need him to be in. Like those moments where you need him to be what the stats say he is, he's not that guy.
I've seen him throw the ball away on 4th down. I don't know how you do that.
Well, I don't believe I'm about to do this. To his listen, I gotta give him credit. Down the stretch last year, last season, the last 5 games, he balled, but he was hamstrung too. Because he had one of the worst play callers in modern football than Pete Carmichael. I love Pete Carmichael as the Zen behind Sean Payton, but him calling plays, my God, was just it made me want to grow my hair and just cut it all off again, man. It was like watching paint dry.
I'm a Carr fan. Like we were same school.
I know you love Carr.
I know Carr. I know the family. You know what I'm saying? But I think I do agree with you. I think the play calling in New Orleans was definitely lackluster.
Well, let me throw this out there because when we got Dorsey this offseason as our OC, he wasn't my choice. My choice was Clint Kubiak. Clint Kubiak was the guy that I was in on because he coached with Stefanski when they were in Minnesota. So I know they spoke the same language, but he spent the last few years learning from the man. You know what I mean? So you come from Shanahan's system with those innovations. Like I was really interested in Clint Kubiak, and that's who you guys got now. Do you feel like you're in a much better spot than you were with Carmichael?
Yes, and I haven't seen a Clint Kubiak play call as the Saints offensive coordinator, and I would say, hell yeah, definitely with cherries on top.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
from what you had?
So what we had, there were times last year when Taysom Hill and Alvin Kamara were standing on the sidelines next to this man on the 3rd down.
Yeah. That's it.
I mean,
that strikes 2 and 3 right there. So excuse me.
Come on, man. And one of the first things interesting that Clint did when he got the job, he got on the plane and he went to Utah and sat down with Taysom Hill.
I talked to you about that.
Yeah, and he talked to Taysom Hill about how he wants to use him.
Yeah.
So we're going to see a different version of Taysom Hill.
That's good.
Yeah.
He's a switchblade. Did he use him?
No, it is. Like I started calling the X Factor last year. The Saints record when Taysom Hill touched the ball 8 or more times is like a 15-2 or 15-3 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched Taysom Hill take over football games. Mm-hmm. Literally, this man take over a football game, and then you'll go away from him. Not just that game, but the next week and the next week, like you forgot about him. Mm-hmm. And so it's been man, Clint, it was time. I'm glad all the Sean Payton stuff is gone, is out the building. Now it's Clint Kubiak. What can Clint Kubiak do for us? So me and Jacob got the Rams in the Super Bowl. Who do the Rams beat to advance to the Super Bowl? Is it the Cowboys? Or is it, this a sneaky team? I'm about to call. A lot of people say I'm crazy. Is it the team that many people want to say, well, I'm about to get some calls in the morning about this on the show tomorrow. Could it be A-Town, Atlanta?
Atlanta?
It could be, yeah.
I mean,
I don't like the Falcons.
No, I'm sure you don't.
No, you don't understand.
An Achilles injury used to be like, man, your career might be over.
Yeah.
And now we're just like, we're over Achilles injuries, like dudes return.
Yeah.
I mean,
Rodgers was trying to come back last season.
That's what I'm saying, man. And you got Kirko now coming off an Achilles, but all the pieces are in place. Right. Drake London, Kyle Pitt, Bijan, like they got a dope. They're a team with a good offensive line.
Yes, their offensive line is. They do have a good offensive line.
So yeah, they could be one.
I keep forgetting Cousins is there. Yeah, that's But
then you draft a 26-year-old rookie to back him up. I don't get that move at all.
I loved it. I think it was genius. I think it was genius because listen, how many more seasons you figure you got for Cousins?
I don't know. Maybe 2 or 3. Him for 4.
You paid him for 4, but he might get hurt. I'm sure there's some type of output, that they'll have to eat some money. But let's say that even after those 4 seasons, let's say he makes the whole 4 seasons. Now you have at least next year. You would have to start looking for the heir apparent because listen, we're not going to have 8 to 10 years of Kirk Cousins.
No,
our window is this 3 to 4 years right now.
Mm-hmm.
That kid was sitting there, and he was one of the most exciting and better quarterbacks in all the college football the last 2 years. Make every throw on talent is special, smart player. I watched him at the Senior Bowl practices on the field live. That kid is big. He's a big kid too.
Yeah, he's big.
Yeah, I'm like, I didn't realize TV didn't do him justice, man. I'm like, that's a big kid throwing that ball, man. So I like it. I mean, a lot of people like that was an Atlanta thing, and as a Saints fan, I was like same thing too. But when I stepped back and saw what they do, I kind of like what they did. It makes sense. Now you got your quarterback of the future. He can sit by a proven veteran. People can say what they want about Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, to me, is above average to good quarterback, has always been. Now, he's 1-4 in the playoffs, but everything's not his fault for his record in the playoffs. But you're quarterback, you get all the blame and get all the glory, too, so it comes with it. But with Atlanta, I think it's just been quarterbacks holding them back. They got the talent. I think it's just been a quarterback play. And before we get out of here, man, again, I want to thank Jacob. I want to thank Casey for joining us. Barkng Browns Podcast, the Dog Pound, baby. Before we get out of here, man, what do you guys think about the new kickoff rule? I'm excited just to see it.
Oh, yeah, bring it back. The Browns have been like they've tried multiple times to really bring in returners with Jakeem Grant and stuff like that. And like they went and got Nyheim Hines for a reason. And the new kickoff rule has a lot to do with that. And Hines has been a Pro Bowl returner. So I'm all for it because, what got me into football was Josh Cribbs. Josh Cribbs was when I was growing up. That's what got me into it. And I want to see more of those. I want to see more returns like that.
I'm just in it for the innovation, man. That's the kickoff would almost become like a ceremonial play. Teams kick it out of the end zone. It's a nothing burger. I get you're trying to eliminate injuries, and that was a big reason they moved the distances. But like, let's get a spark. Let's make it. And look, man, I don't think it's going to revolutionize anything. I think you might see 2 or 3 more touchdowns than you normally would. But it's just something different, man. And it's time. It's time to try to add some juice to it. So it'll make things more exciting, especially earlier on. We'll get used to it pretty quick, like we do everything.
Yeah.
But like the first few times, it's going to be exciting, right?
Yeah.
And to see how teams handle it, because you can have 2 returners back. We'll see different. Like I mean, I love watching rugby. When football ends, I start watching rugby, man, and there's going to be a lot of elements like that. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what kind of innovations could come out of it.
So does this new rule force the kicker to become in the future a better athlete?
Yeah. Well, you're seeing some teams that might just use a position player.
Like Seattle, like the Seahawks, I heard.
Yeah.
And KC's doing it with Justin Reed, the safety.
And if I'm the New York Giants, I'm using my punter, Jamie Gillen. The kid played rugby. Like I would, like right. I think that might be.
I'm glad we got good kickers, so we always got good kickers.
Right. So I think this rule can trickle down to, because that's as I was examining it, I started thinking, like, when you think about it, your last line of defense is going to be the kicker. If the returner breaks through that wall, it's him and the kicker. And 99% of the time, the kicker go lose.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to lose it. Now, what are you giving up by having someone kick off who's not a kicker? You know, what are you giving up? Are you giving up distance into that? Well, with the new rule now, the ball has to come out.
Yeah.
You know, it has to come out. So, and I like the new rule because no one can move to the balls in the zone or it gets touched and they're only 5 yards apart. Me personally, I got an over-under going right now. 10 or more combined touchdowns this season in the league.
10 over?
I'd take the under.
What you got? What you guys say? You take okay? You take the under on that?
I'm gonna take I don't think they're gonna get to 10, but I think you can see 6, 7, which would be an uptick from what we normally see. Usually it's 1 or 2 a year, man. So
right.
I think that would still be definitely more exciting.
So like a third of the league would have to get 1. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's new to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, it's gonna be figuring out as we go. I'm telling you.
I probably still take the under. I probably say it might end up being like 8.
Close. All right.
Which is still good, man. That's still exciting.
That's still good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So we go with that. All right. Yeah. Listen, I want to thank you guys for joining me tonight. Listen, family was in the building tonight. My guy Casey, my guy Jacob, Coach Nine, and myself and you. We want to thank you all for joining us on Come On In NFL. We want to remind you to join us this season for the hottest and best pregame show on all social media as the NFL turns. It's a soap opera. You already know all season. It continually turns, baby. And look, we got you covered. Shout out to Zach, Carlos, and the legendary Coach Rock, who's somewhere right now eating that oatmeal, strawberry oatmeal, that is. Like he said. Listen, fellas, we want to thank everybody for being here. Again, Casey, thank you. Jacob, thank you. Listen, Jacob, let everybody know where they can find your work at, where I found it at, because, you know, Browns Wire. I'm just doing a plug out.
Find all the written work, brownswire.usatoday.com, and then we're on YouTube at the Barkng Browns Show. So check us out there.
You go. Well, listen, your family now, and man, you're always welcome. And I will be hitting you up during the season. We play y'all this year too, man.
Yeah. You guys will get a bit of right after the bye.
Oh, we come to you after our bye, your bye.
Our bye. You're our first game back after the bye at your place.
Oh man, I feel for y'all, man. I feel y'all might want to go out that day and find something else to do, baby. I'm telling you right now.
I might find my way down there.
Hey, let me know if you
play them early.
I will be home.
We play you guys week 4. Play the Raiders week 4. Play the Saints week 11.
We play y'all early, yeah.
Go through away games too.
Defense should be pretty hungry for y'all about that time.
Oh, that's a win, man. That's a win. I ain't say who for though, but it's a win.
Yeah, it's a win for someone.
I got the fist on that one. You know, I ain't taking no sides of that one. But listen, this has been Come On In NFL. We want to thank everybody for joining us. And look, we out. And look, everybody stay safe out there. Until next time, you already know the doors are now open. So come on in.
The Come On In Sports Network.